Welcome to my blog. This is the part 2 of a day trip to Dogashima. If you haven't seen the part 1, you can check from the link in the description. After exploring the Meloriwa cave, we came back in town. I've mentioned a little bit in the previous episode, but this wall design is called Namako wall or Namako kabe, a Japanese wall design widely used for vernacular houses, particularly on fireproof storehouses by the latter half of the Edo period. This old house is now a free visitor resting area, but this was how the old houses used to look like in Japan. It was originally a dry goods store, but was donated to the town to revitalize the community and opened to the public after repair work was completed. A combined store and residence, the two storehouses were built in 1910. Inside the area that was once the reception as well as dirt floors still remain and nostalgic furnitures are still there. Since this was a combination of a house and a store, the house itself is particularly bigger than most houses, both back in the day and these days. One thing that stands out when you compare to current homes to the old homes like these is that the stairs are really steep and very narrow. And that was my friend trying to recreate the scene from Totoro when Mei goes to a new home and looking for a bathroom. Next, we went to see the Tomboro of Sanshirojima Island. Here, you can see the path to the island, but if you watch the part 1 of Dogashima trip episode, in the morning, because the water is there, you can't walk there. Tomboro phenomenon is pretty rare even in Japan, and apparently this only appears in a limited number of terrains, and it is said that this phenomenon only occurs in less than 10 places throughout Japan. Normally, islands are surrounded by the sea, but at low tide, the water retreats and revealing the quote-unquote bridge that was hidden beneath the waters. The Sanshirojima Island comprises 4 islands located about 200 meters from the mainland. During the low tide, from spring to early fall, the Tomboro appears so you can walk to the islands by foot. The weather was so nice, but it was pretty hot this day, but the water was pretty cold. We walked to the island, but on the way back, because the tide started to rise, we saw the path was getting narrower. Before we head to the next destination, we stopped at this cafe on the coast and had ice cream number 2 for the day. Then we headed to this resort that's built fairly new, and it is pretty far away from town. They have a multiple cafes on property, and it is open to public, and this one has a Ashi footpath, so we both wanted to check it out. Tofia Resort and Spa in Shozenji Onsen has guest rooms, restaurants, and onsens scattered all over the property of 119,000 square meter. A limpid stream also runs through the property. They only have 30 guest rooms and they have hot spring water supplied in each room, and they are divided in several different types, including washitsu, which is traditional Japanese tatami rooms, wayoshitsu, which is Japanese Western rooms, and yoshitsu, which is Western style like hotel rooms, and others. The hot spring here is said to be the oldest hot spring in Izu and has been known familiarly as a hot spring, blessing people with healthy children since the ancient times. We headed back to my home and look at the sunset. It is so beautiful. And we had a barbecue for dinner. Also, the neighborhood town had a summer festival and fireworks, so we came to a riverside and watched the fireworks. It's been 2 to 3 years since the COVID started. They've been postponing the summer festival and the other festivals, so it was pretty cool to be able to see fireworks. While we enjoy watching the fireworks, I wanted to share the history of fireworks. Many historians believe that fireworks originally were developed in the 2nd century BC in ancient China. It is believed that the first natural firecrackers were bamboo stalks that, when thrown in a fire, would explode with a bang because of the overheating of hollow air pockets in the bamboo. The Chinese believe these natural firecrackers would ward off evil spirits. Sometime during the period 600 to 900 AD, legend has it that a Chinese alchemist mixed the potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal to produce a black, flaky powder, the first gunpowder. This powder was poured into hollowed out bamboo sticks and later stiff paper tubes, forming a first man-made fireworks. Fireworks made their way to Europe in the 13th century, and by the 15th century, they were widely used for religious festivals and public entertainment. The Italians were the first Europeans to manufacture fireworks, and European rulers were especially fond of the use of fireworks to enchant their subjects and illuminate their castles on important occasions. Early US settlers brought their love of fireworks with them to the New World, and fireworks were part of the very first Independence Day, a tradition that continues every 4th of July when Americans celebrate, as John Adams had hoped, with a pomp, parade, bonfire, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other. Americans' spirit of celebration continued to grow, and in the late 18th century, politicians used to display to attract crowds to their speeches. It is estimated that China produces around 90% of the world's fireworks, and the Walt Disney Company is said to be the largest consumer of fireworks in the world, and it is estimated that they spend around 50 million a year on their displays. Fireworks are just chemical reactions. A firework requires 3 key components: an oxidizer, fuel, and a chemical mixture to produce the color. The oxidizer breaks the chemical bonds in the fuel, releasing all of the energy that's stored in those bonds. To ignite this chemical reaction, all you need is a bit of fire in the form of a fuse or a direct flame. Firework color concoctions are comprised of different metal elements. When an element burns, its electrons get excited and it releases energy in the form of light. Different chemical burns at different wavelengths of light. Strontium and lithium compounds produce deep reds, copper produces blue, titanium and magnesium burn silver or white, calcium creates an orange color, sodium produces yellow, and finally, barium burns green. That's the end of Dogashima day trip over 2 episodes. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.